Right, recording. G'day folks, welcome to, I guess it's day 18 of Sampey Builds a Micro House. Sampey is now done. We are finished. So I took the, we found out of the, what was going to be the wee kitchenette area behind me, and reassembled it into a normal fanny fan there. It's just sitting down there. I run both the fan, that one and the one upstairs, or up in the loft, or what do you want to call it, off little batteries at the moment. I may wire them up, so they've got a wee cable thing that runs over to my solar setup, which is now in here. So yeah, we've got that all plugged in through the wall where the vent used to be. We've got a bunch of extra lights, well, one extra light, apart from the other one we already had, which is now up here, so I don't have to take a torch to bed, which is handy, and that just gives us some upstairs light and whatnot. And then yeah, everything's just sort of sitting there with the solar stuff. You've got kitchen stuff down there, a bit of bag storage and shoe storage at the bottom, and tools and stuff have been moved around a bit, so we've got a vent space and whatnot, and more tools over there, so that's all sorted and good. Material paint's done as it was already the other day, and now I'll just shoot around the back and show you where we did our solar. Over here, look, oh Rob, you got your cameo there, cameo of Rob's feet. Haven't painted the door lock bit, but oh well, fuck it, we'll get around to it. The cool thing with that, if I didn't explain it the other day, is the way this tab's set up on here. If I give that a solid push from the inside, this piece of wood will break, so I can't be locked in here, which is quite handy. Right over here we got a piece of ex-medical equipment. Took one of the flexi end things on it, extended the pipe section and stuff, and just drove that into the ground. It's about a foot and a bit in there, a bit wobbly, but you know, reasonably solid, very light thing. And then we've got a flexi rig up the top there, bunch of zip ties holding it into the plate, and then holding the panels onto the wee ply plate there. And there's our solar panels, which are now starting to sit into the shade. So yeah, but pretty much this placement I'll experiment. That's why we've just stuck it into the ground as opposed to bolting it up into the wall up there. Also, that might extend my height and then extend how much I further need to be away from the fence or whatever. I'm not really sure. I'll talk to the council guy when he comes and checks this out, about what I can and can't do there. But if possible, I'll probably put that pipe up here, with the adjuster section and all the rest of it, so I can change height and angle and spin it around and do all the clever fun things with it, so that we've, you know, pretty much any site we're on we can solar panel easily enough. But where I've got it placed at the moment, it is going to shade now. It's sort of 6:30ish I think it is at night, but I get a good 4 or 5 hours worth of really direct hard out sunlight in that position, so that should work fine. No longer be using interior power inside the main house up the front there to charge my batteries, so we'll be able to sort of see how well the solar system keeps up with my usage. One downside we've got, over here you can see our indicator light, so that one's got a red and a green going at the same time. This one's 2 greens, so the green in the middle there just tells us that this battery's fully charged, because it already was. That green light tells us that it's being powered by the solar panel coming in here. And what I've discovered by checking with both solar panel leads and an AC charge adapter inside is that the light on this one, which should be green at the moment, isn't functioning anymore for some reason. So I don't know if this battery's gone completely dicky or what the hell's wrong. We'll be checking over the next couple of days to see what's happening there. Hopefully it is just an indicator light not working. That doesn't matter to me because I've got a multimeter. I can check what sorts of power are coming in through this, and stuff like that, which I have been doing. It's all functioning hunky-dory, so the question is this charging or not? Don't really know because I don't have a green light telling me, but I took it inside and I put it on wall charge and the green light didn't show then either. So something's gone skew with in there, and hopefully it doesn't mean that this has stopped working. If it has, I've got the receipts and stuff. I'll take it back in the JCar and go, hey guys, come on, I've used this for 4 charge cycles and it's gone crap on me. No idea why. But we'll either get it replaced or repaired or something if there is actually a problem. I doubt there is. It's just an indicator light, so it's probably fine. That light, because it's an LED, this is great when you know a bit about electronics. Because it's an LED, it can't be directly connected to the circuit that is created when you put a wall charge or whatever in, because the wall charge is about 16 volts. The solar panel put out anywhere between 12 and 24, and that would absolutely fry an LED light. They run on sort of 3 to 8 volts usually, depending on which type you get. So yeah, that's just a wee bit of circuit in there. So hopefully that's just an indicator circuit and not a circuit that's critical to making the actual circuit between the solar panel and the battery and thus allowing us to charge. If it is, then this battery is no longer chargeable, and I go back to where I got it from and I go, come on team, focus up a new one, or get repairs or whatever else is done. I hope I don't need to do that though, because I can't take the full kit back in because that's now all wired in, as you can see. What I've done to wire things to the wall, all around here and up there, is I just took little braiding nails and I nailed a zip tie to the wall, and I put the wire in place and zip tied it shut. So yeah, it's just a good way to do wee cable ties. It's not particularly, well, it's reasonably neat, but you know, it's not all architectural and pretty or anything, but I don't mind it looking a bit industrial in here because I built it, and over time we're going to cover these walls in art and paint and all kinds of bits and pieces, and generally have a Sampey old time building things and doing stuff in here. So yeah, I don't need this to be a super perfect wee space, but I do like my nice black carpet, or black patterned carpet, and the white walls and all the rest of it. That's come out really well. So this will be the last video for stage 1 at least of this project. Upgrades may come in future, although the more I think about it, I'm really happy with what I've done so far. Potentially on another site I could build a wee deck, that'd be kind of nice out the front. I could put a roof hatch in, or a sliding roof or something for greater ventilation, but I'm really happy with the ventilation at the moment. I don't really use the electric fans because yeah, you just open the door, you know, if it's a bit warm. So yeah, in winter I'll want to obviously keep the door closed and keep the rain out, and then I'll be using the fans. They do things like let me smoke in here, which in a tiny space like this, it's amazing to be able to do that without it smelling or anything like that. So that's cool, and choking yourself out with lots of crappy tailor-made smoke. Don't smoke, it's bad for you. Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned in the last video I may build a little alcohol heater system that'll fit down there where that fan is, obviously after moving the paint away from that area. And then that would be running off the electric fan, pumping hot air in here, and then venting spent air out the top vent over there. And at that point I probably would wire the whole thing into the same system, so one switch goes on and turns on my full ventilation system instead of 2 separate fans and 2 separate batteries for them. But one of the cool things I'd like to try is get a Peltier generator, which I think I did talk about in the last video, and attach that to the heater system, because the cool thing with those, you can get ones that pump out USB power. It'd be pretty neat to have a little alcohol stove that you fire it up, and a few minutes after starting it gets warm enough to run a Peltier generator that's attached to it, and then that runs the fans at the same time, with the option to also battery power them or run them off these batteries and various other things. So yeah, we might do a bit of experimenting and playing around with the aircon with that. Could be amusing. And that's it. So I've got a few bits of art board here that I usually draw on, and no commissions on currently apart from some tattoo work that we're waiting for. I just ordered a bunch of supplies today, so we're waiting for them to be delivered from Auckland before I can do these tattoos for these cats. I have some hours coming up at the bar at the end of this week and stuff, so I kind of don't actually need to work or anything on my usual arty stuff. This is such a weird position for me to be in, to be finally, after years and years of struggle, to like have my own little place, and I don't have to do commissions or anything. I mean, I do enjoy doing them, but I get to be very picky and choosy now about what sorts of stuff I will take on commission wise. Meanwhile, spending all the spare time I've got available, because I'm not constantly doing commissions, working on my own art and just putting that up for sale, which you'll find on my Facebook, Ben Sampey on Facebook, if you're not watching this on Facebook already. And I'm also Ben Sampey, that's S-A-M for mother, P-E-Y, on Instagram, which is where I usually put most of the artwork that I'm stoked about and whatnot, that I want people to see. So if you're into buying art, by all means go have a look. There will be pieces quite shortly, I would imagine, going up for sale there. I'll also be putting them up. I'm doing some framed A4s and A3s to put up in the bar that I work in, because they have an art display area. It's sort of like a bar cafe thing going on during the day. So they'll be for sale on the Facebook, on the Instagram, and in the bar all at the same time, and whoever buys stuff first, well, that's where it'll be. So yeah, I'm going to just get into my own art stuff, which is, I'm just going to sit here and be kind of stoked about being able to do that. Actually, I've got nothing left on that's pressing or anything. All of my shit's done. We still haven't had the council guy out yet to have a look at the moved site. I've called him twice and left some messages, so hopefully he'll turn up sometime in the next week or so. But we did get our remedial action taken within 5 days of being asked to do it, and I was given 2 weeks, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Final measurements, I checked all the corners of the house and I'm over 2.5 meters away. I needed to be 2.4 to be legal. I'm over 2.5 meters now away from all of the boundaries and fences and stuff, and that's put me in this like quite nice little under trees shady area with a better view of the front yard instead of just trees right in front of the windows kind of thing. And we've got this little tree right here by the door, and the people who these places is like, oh, you should just knock that one out, man, get it out of the way. And I'm like, no, I'm going to leave it, because the cool thing is it makes a really good doorstop. Even in the wind, that door can swing backwards and forwards and it just pushes into the tree, and the frame hits the actual tree itself. The twigs I might trim a bit more so they're not poking into the window. That's probably not a good plan over long periods of time, but otherwise we're all sorted. And we have that huge space on the back of here, on the back of through this wall, just big black 2.4 meter by 2.4 meter space basically. So I might do a big mural there. You've watched jokes made about giant cock and balls or a flying penis or something of that order to annoy the neighbours, because one of them back out in that direction must have been the person who complained in the first place. But I'm not. That's a funny thing to say and to amuse myself with imagining doing, but I'm not actually that vindictive or concerned. In the end, the complaints that were made by whoever they were made by lead to some more useful knowledge for those of you who are watching this in terms of educational value. Do keep in mind, if you're doing a freestanding structure, you will need to be that structure's height away from, its maximum height away from any fence lines you're nearby in order to comply. Ordinarily with a consented structure like a house or whatever, your minimum distance from a fence is about a metre. That varies a little bit based on a few different bits and pieces, but yeah, your main structure needs to be your own height away from boundaries. So that's a good thing to know. So there you go, that person complaining led to me learning some stuff, and thus you learning some stuff, and I'm just going to take that as a positive. And it was really cool to meet the guy from the council as well. He was really nice and seemed to really appreciate my project and what I was up to here, so that was real cool. So to wind up for today, I'm going to go outside and have a bit of a spin around and see what we got out of all this just from distance. I really should paint that, it kind of sticks out like bollocks, doesn't it? But there's our nice wee house under the trees. Pretty stoked. Pretty stoked. Haven't had any major rain since last time we did, so we're yet to check all our final repairs there, but I'm pretty sure they'll work just fine. This from one corner, this is a great thing, I'm obviously about this far off the fence, I can back right up so you can really sort of see what it's like and whatnot. A little wee solar panel thing sticking out there. It's amazing what you can do with such a tiny amount of panels now. But yeah, that's it. Little wee house under the trees. Cool. So I'm going to scooch back over this way, spin back, and yeah, I guess the last thing I want to say is thanks to my dad for advice and general following what I'm doing and whatnot, and also supplying me a lot of camping gear I used to use when I was living on the street. Same to my uncle for doing that, my cousin Kev for supplying me with a cool wee Bunnings card that allowed me to buy some of the things I needed to do, leak repairs and various other bits. I've still got some money left on that, so anytime I need to buy hardware I've got a bit of cash there to do so. Cheers obviously to my patron, who unfortunately prefers to remain anonymous, for paying for the bulk of this and flying me here to Christchurch to do it. Southern Wrecking Crew for helping me pick it up and shift the thing. So that was a bit of a mission the other day. This obviously weighs about 300 or 400 kilo, so that was quite hard, but we got it done. My bro and his girlfriend and their flatmates here for letting me build this out the back of their house, and not charging me rent or anything. What else? My bro's mum for supplying me with a wee inverter there. Cheers, mate. And advice, and just, yeah, generally a lot of people gave advice and followed the project. It made me feel like I was doing something kind of cool, and have propped the results despite being a bit rough and whatnot. So yeah, I'm real happy, and this is stokage, and I'm gonna spend the next few weeks living it and stuff. So next time I do videos like this, I might be on other projects with art stuff or building robots or whatever, or I might be doing some mods on this or whatever. You won't hear from me on mine, I don't think, for a wee while in terms of videos. So if you want to follow what I do day to day, art-wise and whatnot, by all means check out my Instagram or my Facebook. It's Ben Sampey, S-A-M from other P-E-Y, on Facebook or Instagram, and that'll be enough from me. You guys have a good one.